Is Princess Diana the key to deciphering the Harry and Meghan story? Once again, is Princess Diana the key to deciphering the Harry and Meghan story? My family, Rita Ann Wallace, answers this question in a piece that she wrote that I would like to share with all of you. And I quote, "Diana runs like a ghost through Spare, from beginning to the end. Prince Harry feels her presence in his life in a very real way. I don't believe in ghosts, but Harry's grandmother seems to have. There is an account that the Queen called in a priest, to read a room in Sandringham of Diana's restless spirit. Apparently, she did not succeed, because if Harry is indeed right, as I believe he is, Diana managed to smash that Queen ornament to bits, and good for her. I mean, seriously, Diana is an integral part of Prince Harry's story, not only because the monumental and tragic events of August 1997 shaped him as he detailed in Spare, but Diana is a precursor and template for how the British press treated Meghan, an archetype, if you will. Last year, in the run-up to the 25th anniversary of Diana's death, I followed the posts by the Twitter account Diana Day by Day. It traced the last month of her life right up to the funeral in minute detail. I learned a lot about the events and cast of characters, and following the links in the posts, even more about Diana herself, especially her relationship to the royal family and the British press. The transcripts of a PBS Frontline 1997 documentary called The Princess and the Press were enlightening. It aired after her death, but many of the interviews were conducted before. The interviewees were also almost all men. The royal reporters, photographers, editors, and press barons at the time talking about how they saw Diana and how they reported on her, Diana. Having followed the Meghan and Harry story since 2018, and now having read Spare, it is astounding how little has changed. Actually, in many cases, the reporters, photographers, journalists, and editors now spinning the Harry and Meghan story are the same ones who are active in the pursuit and sale of Diana. My family, very, very true. And one such person is Piers Morgan himself, who, based on court documents acquired by Byline Times, Major James Hewitt, who had a relationship with Diana, accused Piers Morgan of having a fixation towards his relationship with Diana. And fast forward to now, Piers Morgan has the same fixation towards Meghan's relationship with Prince Harry. They're the same people who hounded Harry's mom to death, are the same ones hounding Harry and his wife. And just as Harry said, history is repeating itself. You know, my family, they call this a game. Just play and life will be better for you. My family, it stops being a game when people end up losing their lives. Like what happened to Diana. Like what happened to Caroline Flack. It stops being a game when people lose their lives. And the reason they continue to do what they do is because they keep getting away with it. That's why they continue to hound others. Because they know they are going to use its press freedom, freedom of speech, free speech, and we are entitled to free speech. But what they are doing is not free speech, it's hate speech. It is radicalizing readers to hate on Harry and Meghan to the point that they want to cause physical harm towards them. Just as Harry said, they are radicalizing readers to potentially cause harm to Harry's family, his wife, his kids, Harry himself. And my family and the tabloids know fully well what they're doing. And still they continue to hound Prince Harry and Meghan and spread hate against them based on lies they sell about Harry and Meghan. And even Meghan not being visible, still that doesn't stop them from fabricating lies about Meghan. When Meghan is not visible, UK media claim to know they know what Meghan is thinking, and they create articles based on what they believe Meghan is thinking. That's what they've been doing for months now. My family and they continue to do just that. And it's just so wrong what they have been doing. It is very, very much wrong, my family. And the people who chased Diana to her death, those photographers who Harry said were taking photos of her at the back of her car while she was dying, those people should have been jailed and asked who paid them to be there. Even those who paid them should have been jailed because a life was lost. A life was lost. My family, life is so precious. You can bring up all the billionaires across the world, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, everyone around the world, all billionaires, everyone can give up the money they have, their houses, their homes, but that won't be enough to bring back even one life. That's how precious life is. And my family, this life that God has given us, my family, it's sad really how in the world that we live in, some people just disregard the lives of others. And no wonder I keep on saying that people who chased Diana to her death should have been arrested. And it's sad they were not. And because they were not, they are the same people right now hounding both Harry and Meghan. My family. And it's just So wrong, so wrong, so evil, so cruel, and so bad. What has been happening for quite a long time. And one prince said that I don't have a problem with the monarchy. My problem is its relationship. It's corrupt, unethical relationship with the UK tabloid media. That is the problem that Harry has, and that we all have, really. And make no mistake, this system was built by the royal family, by the monarchy. And this system has cost the lives of others, has claimed the lives of others. And there must be accountability. And it's not just the tabloid press, it's also members of the royal family who feed this press pack, the UK media, who do nothing but support them, the media, as they hound Harry and Meghan. They are the problem. And they must be called out for it. My family, please hear this. What Rita Ann says. But there should have been accountability, justice for what happened to Diana. And because the people who chased her to death walked away scot-free, my family, they feel emboldened to continue doing what they're doing. Hounding Harry and Meghan, hounding right now the late Diana's son, just to get a story, one story to write. My family, it is dangerous, very dangerous. Now, Rita Ann Wallace says this, and I quote, having followed the Meghan and Harry story since 2018, and now having read Spare, it is astounding how little has changed. Actually, in many cases, the reporters, photographers, journalists, and editors now spinning the Harry and Meghan story are the same ones who are active in the pursuit and sale of Diana. Allow me to repeat that. As they continue, and they use the same tropes, calling her crazy, loony, unbalanced, slutty, divisive, dangerous to the monarchy, alienating the prince's friends, destructive of the royal family. They are using the same tropes. It is the same MO. It is the same modus operandi that they used towards Diana. Same playbook. Except this time, it's also about race. You add race into it. And they are linked in the same way to palace courtiers and also leakers. My family. Now, Anne Rita says that the most striking similarity is in how they reported on Diana after her separation from Charles, when the palace protection was removed, and how it mirrors how they have reported on Meghan since 2016. In 2018 to 2019, when it became clear to them that Meghan had no palace protection at all, the vitriol and hate were allowed free expression. With the ending, we now know. Nothing was too vile to throw at her. Till we get the likes of Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson scrapping the depths. Piers Morgan boasted that members of the royal family phoned him to thank him for calling out Meghan, he said. I believe him. Why? Because Penny Junor said that when she defended Charles against Diana, his friends called her. telling her, we love what you said. Do more. Buckingham Palace confirmed. You know? My family. Now, Anne also says something about, a transcript of interview with a freelance photographer, Glenn Harvey, from The Princess and the Press, who was asked this question: can you describe some of the language that the paparazzi used and which would not be familiar to most people? And here's what was said. Oh, well, I mean, there's lots of names for the princess that the paparazzi use. Some are not kind and some are, but there's one especially that we use in the loon because, for years we have been photographing the princess on beaches, in swimming pools, wherever, and she basically did not mind. She was quite happy to be photographed by the sound of it and by the look of things. And then all of a sudden, she just made the decision that she does not want the photographs anymore in that sort of way. So from that day that she decided that she did not want them, when she would see you in the street, she would act as though, you just tripped her up or something, She would say, why are you taking my photograph? And I'd say, well, you're famous. You are a princess. And she'd just say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then walk away in a half. And you're thinking, well, this is a bit loony, What's gone wrong? She never seemed to mind before. So that's how the name came. And it wasn't just me. She used to do it to every other photographer. And if she'd see you across the road or something, she'd chase after you or something. So it was not the sort of dignified behavior we'd come to respect. Here's another question. Can you describe what happened when she came out of the cinema in Leicester Square and what she did in Leicester Square? Now, freelance photographer Glenn Harvey said that, and I quote, well, we were looking for the princess that day. There was a good chance that they were going to go and see Jurassic Park. But we did not know where. And we just were doing a tour of London and we found them actually in Leicester Square. And so we waited around for them to come out. Just me and another photographer. And so just at the point she was coming out, the whole square filled up with people because all the cinemas were emptying out. So in the end, I just lost her in the crowd as she came out the front door with Prince Harry and William, and I just lost her in the crowd. So I am standing there, just looking around, and all of a sudden, I see a flash of her going across, with her blonde hair racing across towards this other photographer on my right. And she just screamed at the top of her voice, "You make my life hell. You make my life hell." And she was about an inch away from his nose. And this is the first time we'd ever seen this sort of thing. All the pigeons flew up in the square, and all of the tourists were looking around saying that, well, what's going on here, And they looked around to see the Princess of Wales there. So I took a couple of pictures and we eventually got them published in The Sun, but no one had ever seen that sort of thing before. And I think she was probably going through a lot of pressure with the divorce. And also, there was a story in the paper that morning that they were trying to make out that she was having some sort of liaison with Peter Van S. So she was a bit upset about that. What freelance photographer Glenn Harvey said about Diana, about how they were hounding her, my family. So clearly, they know what they read is wrong. They know what they did to her was wrong. But my family also, they just clearly did not care what they were doing. And when Diana did not play along, they called her a loony, that she's crazy. And my family, it's also very, very important to note one important thing. That even when Diana was getting a divorce, and after she got a divorce, still, they continued to hound her. And it never ever stopped, eventually to her death. For those saying, give up the titles. Diana was stripped of her titles. The hounding never ever stopped. Now, my family, please also kindly hear what was said to another, carnival or so-called Espapeni Jr. When she defended Charles and the palace called her to tell her, we love what you said. Now, a transcript from the Princess and the Press, our narrator said this: Prince Charles' supporters in the media had rallied to him. Penny Jr., a royal biographer, said this, that I felt, just looking at it, that he had been very, very badly maligned, and unfairly so. I had just put down the telephone from an interview with Greater London Radio or something. My phone rang, and it was a friend of the prince, a friend of Charles. Do you see this? And William, through his friends, is doing the same thing, leaking how much he doesn't want, Archie, Lilibet, Harry, and Meghan. These unethical practices, they haven't changed. That is very clear. My phone rang, and it was a friend of the prince, and he said, what you are saying on the radio is completely right. Please keep it up. Write some more. I then rang Buckingham Palace, and I said, look, would you like me to do some more? And they said, write something if you like. Yes, please. But the prince is not terribly keen. He has warned everybody off, he says, don't. But actually, secretly, we would be quite grateful if something positive were to, if you were to carry on saying what you're saying. Do you see how they behave? Do you see how they behave? They leak to the media, and then agree with them in their hate campaign, against someone like Diana and now Meghan and Harry. Especially Meghan, as she's the target. Now, Rita Ann Wally says that it is the same now, exactly. Jealousies and rivalries between the principals, with courtiers plotting stories to denigrate one and uplift the other. And that's how Queen Camilla has been rehabilitated by the sycophantic UK media. Till it seems people have forgotten that she was a married mother having an affair with a married to Princess Diana, father of young children. That man is now King Charles III, defender of the faith and head of the Church of England. and she is about to be crowned the Queen Consort. The erstwhile King Edward VIII must be turning in his former grave in astonishment and chagrin after just what has happened. Spare only glancingly touches on Diana's affairs. Understandably, this is Harry's story, not hers. But I want to defend Diana on this. Here's a girl, 19 years old and a virgin, in love with a man who does not love her. Charles later admitted it to Jonathan Dimbleby. He rejects her, calls her chubby, and goes off to slake his lust with other women. In the plural, not just Camilla, Diana was searching for validation. Am I really undesirable? Undesirable? Am I ugly? Why doesn't he want me? She was looking for someone who cared about her. She wanted love. I hope she found other men who thought her beautiful, entrancing, and desirable, in contrast to her unworthy husband. My family. That's what Rita Ann Wallace said about this. Now, Rita Ann Wallace now goes to Meghan and says this, that, and I quote, "Poor Meghan. I can't think of anyone who has been so unfairly trolled and vilified in a coordinated way, amplified and sustained by the British and Murdoch media globally. In fact, those who study online hate repeatedly say they have never, ever seen anything like what has happened with Meghan. Meghan, the beloved only child of her parents, brought up surrounded by love and positivity, happiness, a nationally known star since the age of 12 years old, when Linda Ellaby featured her on Nick News. Meghan, with an impeccable reputation behind her throughout her career for kindness and consideration, a UN women advocate, a World Vision global ambassador, found herself in the maelstrom of hate. Meghan encountered in Britain a confluence of the worst kind of biases and prejudices, including racism and xenophobia, even from William himself. Though they have existed in the society for generations, they were exacerbated in the lead up to the Brexit referendum. There is, in fact, a direct line from Brexit to Meghan, drawn up by the trolls and amplified by the media in the form of the word Megxit, in the use since before their May 2018 wedding. Already, they wanted Meghan out. The pre-Brexit xenophobia was strong enough for the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Prince Zayed, to call out the anti-immigrant hate speech and excesses of the British tabloid press. He compared it to the rhetoric which preceded the Rwanda genocide, citing a particularly egregious example written by Katie Hopkins in The Sun, which ipso failed to sanction despite hundreds of complaints. So ipso never does anything. So never expect them to do anything. Then there's the famous and long-standing anti-Americanism in Britain. Americans are pictured in everything from popular novels to English literature as too rich, too loud, too bold, too uncouth, too opinionated, too classless. There are numerous stories of how American heiresses in the Gilded Age were married off to the sons of the impoverished British upper classes and how badly they were treated once the toffs got hold of their money. Look up Consuelo Vanderbilt. Rich Americans were good to show up the crumbling castles and estates, but never quite made the grade for the English aristocrats. It is not that long ago. Attitudes and memories are long in Britain. Meghan, being the only member in the royal family, being an American, meant she was at the top of the British hierarchy, where no American had ever been before. And they desperately needed to put her in her place. In fact, nothing would suffice but to pull her down from that place. And that's what they did. To this, add sexism and classism. An actress, they said disdainfully. In USA, the AP style book has the term actor for all genders. In Britain, the media and Prince William still use actress pejoratively, with the subliminal message that this is a woman who slept away to the screen. Actress equaled prostitute in the Covent Garden of the 18th century. The British media use it as if it still does. They excoriated the First Lady of the United States, Nancy Reagan, visiting for Charles and Diana's wedding. The Guardian called her a starlet, Hollywood actress, immoral, flashy, and vulgar, they said. The British media repeatedly cast Harry as the dumb in June, enthralled to the older, more experienced wink-wink Meghan. Never mind that he is a grown man, a prince from birth, and a soldier to boot. Pure, guileless Harry, ensnared by this witch of an American Hollywood actress. The miracle is that they found each other. So improbably, it is a romance that surpasses any Mills and Boone Harlequin that we've ever read. Perhaps it was Diana after all. My family, I like to just, stop right there, because she finishes with Harry, but I'll make another video on what she said about Harry. My family, so what do you think about what Rita Ann Wallace said? My family, I agree with that. What Rita said 100%, my family. You heard what William said about Meghan. Despite being a lone fan of Suits, religious fan of Suits, you heard how he spoke to Harry. When he realized that Harry was dating Meghan, his first problem was that clearly Meghan was an American. And had doubts about her just because Meghan was an American. Xenophobic, really, of Prince William and how he was. And ever since that moment, he has always basically incited hate against Meghan. So cruelly, my family. And it's just so bad how poorly they treated Meghan. And my family, and also it's just so bad how they also poorly treated Diana, my family. And clearly, it has all been documented. So why can't people open their eyes? Why can't they just open their eyes to see what has been happening for quite a long, long time and condemn it? Because today it's Meghan. Yesterday it was Diana. Tomorrow it could be you. And that's why everyone must join hands and condemn the hate campaign towards Meghan and fight it and call it out, my family. I'll make one more video about what she said about Harry in my next video, my family. But for now, what do you think about what she has said? Is Diana the key to deciphering the Harry and Meghan story? Yes, Diana is the key to deciphering the Harry and Meghan story. There is so much of what happened to Diana that is similar to what is happening right now with their hounding. The people, photographers, columnists, experts who cover Diana are now also covering Meghan. And they're using the same language, this time laced with racism. My family, we must call out what is happening. We must fight this hate campaign and condemn it 100%. My family, now, I would like to hear your opinion on this, please. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our ever-growing family on YouTube. One thing is clear. Diana is a template for how poorly the UK media have treated Meghan. Similar, but this time laced with racism. Meghan was someone who was successful long before marrying into the royal family. That's Meghan. Before marrying into the royal family. Successful. And I'm happy that Rita Ann Wallace covered this and said that about Meghan. She gets married and then gets demonized by the UK tabloid media. My family, but one thing is for sure, that I'm happy that Meghan found true love and that Harry also found true love. And that both of them, despite what they've been through, fought for that love. May God bless them immensely for that, 100% my family. And we stand with Harry and Meghan 100%. My family, stay tuned where we shall end what Rita Ann Wallace said with what she said about Harry. But stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. There must be accountability for what happened to Diana and what happened to Meghan. UK media is unethical in their conduct and they must be called out. 100% my family. They must be called out because tomorrow it could be you. We must condemn their behavior. Family, please stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. Hate will never win. Love wins, and Harry and Meghan's love story has truly, truly won. Stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. Hello, members of Deciphering Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Deciphering Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great, great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.